His daughters was running out of time. No one was ready for what happened that night. Rain crashed against the giant glass windows of the Bay mansion while thunder shook the silent halls. Inside the luxurious home of Richard Lawson, fear had replaced wealth, and sadness had swallowed every corner of the house. Upstairs, in a softly lit bedroom filled with machines and medicine bottles, 8-year-old twins Emma and Lily lay weakly in their beds. Cancer had stolen their strength piece by piece. Once lively children who filled the mansion with laughter, they now barely spoke above whispers. Doctors had come from different countries. Specialists had tried every treatment. Nothing worked. Richard stood near the doorway, exhausted, his expensive suit wrinkled from sleepless nights. He looked at his daughter's helpless eyes. "They're getting worse," one doctor said quietly. "You should prepare yourself." Those words shattered him. After the doctors left, most of the staff avoided the girls' room. Some were afraid. Others believed the end was near. But one person never left. The black maid, Sarah. Sarah was quiet, gentle, and patient. Though she wore simple uniforms and worked long hours, the twins trusted her more than anyone else in the house. She stayed beside them every night, wiping their foreheads, feeding them soup, and singing soft lullabies when pain kept them awake. "She smells like home," little Lily once whispered. That night, the storm grew stronger. The electricity flickered, and the mansion briefly went dark. Then something unexpected happened. Emma suddenly began struggling to breathe. Machines started beeping loudly. Richard rushed toward the bed in panic while the nurses froze. "Do something," he shouted. But before anyone else moved, Sarah calmly stepped forward. She held Emma gently in her arms and began speaking softly into her ear. Then she started praying. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. Tears rolled down her face as thunder echoed outside. And slowly, the machines began to stabilize. The room fell silent. Even the doctors stared in disbelief. For the first time in weeks, Emma's breathing became steady again. And deep inside that mansion, where hope had almost died, something impossible had just begun. Morning sunlight slowly entered the mansion, but nobody had slept after what happened during the stormy night. The doctors could not explain it. Emma's oxygen levels had improved unexpectedly. Her heartbeat was stronger. Even little Lily, who had been too weak to eat for days, asked softly for water when she woke up. Inside the kitchen, whispers spread among the workers. "It makes no sense. She was fading last night. Maybe it was luck." But Richard Lawson could not stop thinking about Sarah. He found her outside in the small garden behind the mansion, kneeling beside the flowers while holding a tiny silver cross in her hands. "How did you do that?" Richard asked quietly. Sarah looked up slowly. "I didn't do anything, sir." "You did something," he insisted. The doctors had already given up. Sarah lowered her eyes. "Sometimes people need love more than medicine." Those words stayed in Richard's mind all day. Later that evening, he walked past the twins' room and stopped in surprise. For the first time in months, he heard laughter. Weak laughter, but real. Sarah sat between the girls, telling them stories while helping them paint small pictures with shaky hands. Emma smiled faintly while Lily rested her head on Sarah's shoulder. Richard almost burst into tears at the sight. Then he noticed something else. Sarah looked sick, very sick. Her hands trembled slightly as she cleaned the girls' medicine trays. Sweat formed on her forehead, and twice she quietly coughed into a cloth when she thought nobody was watching. Richard frowned. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine, sir," she answered quickly. That she wasn't. That night, after everyone slept, Richard accidentally discovered the truth. He had gone downstairs for coffee when he saw Sarah collapse in the hallway. He rushed toward her. As he helped her up, a small envelope fell from her pocket. Medical papers. Richard's eyes widened as he read the words. Stage 3 cancer. His hands shook. Sarah tried to grab the papers back, but tears had already filled her eyes. "I didn't want anyone to know," she whispered weakly. Richard stared at her in complete shock. "You're dying too?" Sarah nodded slowly. "But those girls need someone to believe they can survive," she said softly. "So I stayed." For a long moment, Richard could not speak. The woman caring for his daughters, the woman giving them strength, had been fighting her own deadly battle alone the entire time. And suddenly, Richard realized something that changed him forever. The weakest person in the mansion was actually the strongest. The next few days changed everything inside the Lawson mansion. Richard could no longer look at Sarah the same way. Every morning, despite her illness, she still woke before sunrise to prepare soup for the twins. She still brushed their hair gently, read stories beside their beds, and stayed awake during their painful treatments. But now Richard noticed the things he had ignored before. The way Sarah quietly held her chest when pain struck. The way she struggled to climb the stairs. The way she smiled through exhaustion, so the girls would never feel afraid. And for the first time in years, the billionaire felt ashamed. While he had spent millions searching for answers around the world, the greatest comfort his daughters had ever received came from a maid with a broken body and a faithful heart. One evening, Emma suddenly asked a question. "Daddy, is Sarah going to leave us too?" The room became silent. Sarah quickly forced a smile. "I'm not going anywhere, sweetheart." But Richard saw the fear hidden behind her eyes. That night, he made a decision. The next morning, luxury cars arrived outside the mansion. New doctors entered the house, not for the twins this time, but for Sarah. She looked stunned. "Sir, this is too much." "No," Richard said firmly. "You saved my daughters when everyone else gave up. Now it's my turn to fight for you." Tears filled Sarah's eyes. Weeks passed. Then months. The twins slowly became stronger. Their treatments finally began working better than before. Doctors called it remarkable progress. And another miracle shocked everyone even more. Sarah's cancer responded unexpectedly to treatment too. Her condition improved faster than anyone predicted. One bright afternoon, the mansion garden became filled with laughter again. Emma and Lily chased butterflies while Sarah sat nearby, healthier and smiling beneath the warm sunlight. Richard watched them quietly. For the first time in a very long time, the mansion no longer felt cold. It felt like home. Later that evening, the twins handed Sarah a small folded paper decorated with crayons and hearts. Written across it were simple words. "Thank you for staying when everyone else was scared." Sarah cried as she hugged them tightly. And Richard finally understood something money could never buy. Sometimes miracles do not arrive through power, fame, or wealth. Sometimes they arrive through the kindness of a tired woman who refuses to give up on love.